Hey, good morning, everybody. How's it going? Hope well. So you can see today I'm in my gardening garb. So it is gardening class time. Now, we've done stuff like this before, but I like to show you different plants and how to care for them, how to work with them. So today our class is on what we have here is a ground cherry plant. Now, I did a cooking class a long time ago where I cooked the ground cherries from this and made a pie. It's like the ground cherry tart pie. And just so you know, as you can see, this should be a fun day to do the gardening class. My equipment is blowing all around. The computer screen is blowing all around. Things are flying all around because we're having really heavy winds today. What a great day for gardening, though. This is the day to do it. Just want to be careful you don't get anything. Oh, there, it's getting all over the computer. This is fun. But anyway, so I did a class on this, and I don't know if you remember, but these are what the ground cherries look like. So they have this little pod, and well, there's nothing in there now, but usually what you'd find in there is a little ground cherry. And well, we're going to discard this whole thing, so may as well just throw it right back in there. But what we want to do is this thing started out as about 2 feet tall, and maybe tops 3 to 4 feet. Well, it has grown to be pretty tall, closer to, standing upright, that could be around 4.5 feet tall, and it's spread out around the yard to about 12 feet long. So it has taken over a giant garden space. And this is what happens when things get overgrown. You don't come out, you don't work on things. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to take this out. Because, well, it needs to come out so that I can plant some other things in there. It has been a great plant, though. I mean, we got a lot of ground cherries from it. But it's really taking over too much. And with any plant that's happy where it is, it's going to do this. If it wasn't happy, it would have died. But it's very happy where it is. But it's way too big for its space. It's blocking out a lot of the other things behind it. To the sides of it, we had all sorts of other things growing, and pots and things like that. Now they can't really survive. So, but the good news about this is since it's taken up such a massive space, it's also blocked out the sun for anything underneath it to actually grow. So once I tear this out, I'm going to have 12 feet of space that should be pretty much clear and just good soil. And then I have down here, you won't really see, but I have these mounds of soil from different pots. So once I get this up and really clean it up well, then I can break down this soil, spread it over the top, water it in, and then what I'll have is some wonderful soil to plant new things for other gardening classes, depending on where we are. Now, first things first, what do we need? It's kind of our mise en place, but we need our protective equipment. We don't need much today. With the wind, maybe I could have worn a windbreaker. No? Okay. But I've got my gloves. You want to protect your hands anytime you're working in the garden. I haven't worn these in a long time. What I always do is I smash up everything inside. Why? Oh, sorry, little spiders. I do like spiders, but I don't want them to bite my fingers. Make sure that they're not in there, because, they'll make little homes. And be like, hey, you're invading my home. Bite, bite, bite. We don't want that. There's one. And two. Now, here's the thing about ground cherries and ground cherry plants is... actually, I gotta take one off real fast. Is that the roots don't grow that low into the ground. So I brought my handy-dandy shovel, because it's always good to have, especially if you're digging something up. But honestly, I should be able to pull this up just by its base. As long as I get around its base, it should come up pretty easy. We've gotten a lot of rain, And this is as you can see, this is, I mean, we're just about midday now, and I'm still getting a lot of shade. And this is what this plant likes. This is why we planted it here. It doesn't need a lot of sun, but the sun it gets, I mean, then it grows really fast. So I've got my shovel here just in case I run into a snag. If not, all I'm gonna do right now, and I'll show you, is I'm just gonna take this, I'm gonna rip it up. Hopefully the wind doesn't blow all over the computer and I have to like whisk, you know, that little air sprayer thing. But here we go. Gardening class. Let's see. I'm gonna move this over just a bit. Sorry that this pole is in the way. I'm gonna angle the camera down just a little bit so you can see where I'm at. Alright, now I'm gonna move over here and get started. And away we go. Okay, so I'm getting in here. Hello. Now what I've got to do is find the base of this thing. Pull through. Oh, there it is. I see it. I'm just going to grab it, and these roots are pretty strong. But yeah, there it is. It has popped up. So it's already out. I'll show you. Like I said, the roots don't grow that low. So that's what we've got. But look, now I've got all this other stuff. So let me come sit back down. And talk to you just a little bit more about the next step. Alright, so the roots came up easy. I didn't need my handy shovel. But what I do need is to break this apart because I've got to put it in the green bin. Now if I'm going to put it in the green bin, I'm not going to be able to shove this all in there in one go. So what I'm going to have to do is take these and really break them apart. And that's the thing that's also good about this, is this breaks apart really easily. Just snap. And you want to grab it by the edges and just snap things off. And boom, boom, boom. So these are some easy tricks just to learn, and then we just make piles of it. Like I said, so you'll have a big piece like this, and just snap it off. Add to your pile. And eventually this big monster becomes a lot less daunting. It actually becomes quite manageable. And then you've got yourself a nice working space for some other plants. But you know, we want to give thanks to the ground cherry. Thank you, ground cherry plant, for everything that you provided, for protecting everything from, well, from a lot of stuff really. Just from weeds. I don't have to weed as much because of this. There's a lot of things I don't have to do because of this. So I'm going to do this, and I will show you the finished product when I'm done and say goodbye. But I'm not going to have you watch me do the whole thing. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. Alright. Welcome back, everybody. Actually, I just had to unpause it without a glove on. But as you can see, it really didn't take very long at all. And of course, now the wind died down. Isn't that just always the way? But it really didn't take that long to break down. Everything really did, like I showed you, just kind of snapped together. And what seemed like a big monster of a plant to work with ends up being not that very long of a job at all. Now I do have a bunch of little ground cherry things that I'm going to have to rake up just to kind of clean this space even more. But now I've got a space that I can work with. This plant over here is going to get more light, which is good. You can see the sun hitting its base right now, so that'll help out with that. But the ground cherry plant, again, you know, thank you to it for all the good produce that it produced. And and for the shade that it provided too. I mean, it's still grassy down there, but this could have been overrun with grass and weeds. So it really saved a lot of time that way. And I didn't have to use my shovel at all. So it's always good to have it there, though. Like I said, I'd rather have more than less. It's just like dressing. It's better to dress in layers and just take layers off as opposed to not having any layers and having anything to put back on when it's cold outside. It's better to dress in layers and just leave anything that you don't need behind. So, I had everything I needed, got everything done. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and the weather has turned really nice. It is a beautiful time to get out and start to garden. The ground's nice and soft still, just from the rain that we got in December. And so I really hope you take advantage of that and get some gardening done. But anyway, I miss y'all, and yeah, we'll have a class this afternoon, and I'll chat with y'all in one way or the other there. All right. Bye for now.